Welcome to JMC vLearning. Today we are going to start with Chapter 2. Yes, the functions of management. This part covers 35% of the entire syllabus. So there we have 6 parts to complete. Let's see what are they. First one is decision making and organizational planning, organizational structure and design, leadership and motivation, organizational communication and organizational controlling. These are the 6 parts, and today we are going to cover decision making, the first part, right? Yes. Decision making. Let's see what is this, right? So when it comes to decision making, good decisions, when it comes to decisions, is a vital part of the organization, right? So decision determine how the organization solve problems, right? We have problems. As organizations, there are a lot of problems to solve, right? And we need to allocate resources in order to achieve our organizational goals and accomplish its goals. At the end, yes, we have to accomplish our goals. So, decisions and decision making. What is a decision means? Like choice made of available alternatives. There might be so many alternatives like solutions, right? So we have to pick one which is reliable, like which is more accurate, like the suitable one, most suitable one. So decision means choice made of available alternatives. So when it comes to decision making, what is that? So decision making is the important part for us, right? So decision making, it's process of identifying problems and opportunities and resolving them involves effort before and after the actual choice. So when it comes to decision making, not like decisions, decision making is a process, right? Yes. Decision making is like a middle part, like a kind of a, yeah, it's something here, like in between planning, controlling, it's everywhere actually, decision makings, right? So, yeah, for a better decision, to make a better decision, for this decision making process, we need what? Accurate and reliable information. Those should be accurate, correct, and reliable, right? Reliable information for this. And managers are involved in choosing between 2 or more alternatives. I told you that there might be 2 or more, like there are many alternatives, right? So managers should pick the best alternatives out of them, right? So for that, we need to have a detailed analysis. We need to analyze, right? Positives and negatives, opportunities and everything we need to analyze. And you have to come into a logical conclusion. That should be logical, right? Rational. So logical, we are coming to logical conclusions. So this decision making is always related to a problem solving, right? Problem solving. And so these information, like these decisions we called informed decisions, right? And one of the central activities of the management and process implementation. So this decision making is a process. It's a central activity of what? Management process and implementation, right? So decision making is a crucial thing to this whole management process. I think you can understand, right? So let's move on to the problems versus opportunities. Let's clarify what are the problems and what are the opportunities, the differences, right? So when it comes to a problem, a gap between current status and of affairs and the desired status. What is that? We have something in our mind, like we have something in our plans, a desired status, right? But what happened actually? It's different sometimes. So the gap is a problem. What happened? right? It's a problem. So the gap between the current status, the what happened now, and the desired, what we have think, like what we need to achieve, the gap between that, we call it a problem, right? So executive team of Y company is not working as a team. They seem to be more interested in their functions than working in a team, right? Undersigned leadership. They flight or don't even talk to each other. So we, as an organization, this Y company has decided to create teams with a leader, right? But what happened? They didn't even talk to each other. They didn't work with each other. They don't like to work with each other. So it's a problem. What we thought? We thought to create like a team with a leader, right? But what happened? After creating this, they do not perform as a team. They always like to perform as an individual. So it's a problem to the Y company, right? There's a gap. What we have think and the actual thing. Between that, it's a gap. So it's a problem. Problem is, when it comes to opportunity, what is that? The external environmental influences or the possibilities to start up some work where can get benefits, right? Opportunities, it's always coming from where? External environment. When it comes to SWOT also, you learn that strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats are from where? From the external environment, right? So opportunity, it's facility in the reality, we call it like that. So it's an opportunity which is coming from the external environment. Turning hobby into a business, or in decision making, turning an uplifting idea into a profitable manner. As Kaizen concept, effective productivity, where the situation turns into a profitable methodology. So this is kind of an example for that. So here it's just a summary. The problem is an issue that is preventing the organization from achieving business goals and objectives, right? So when it comes to a problem, when we are facing a problem, what happened? It's prevent us, like it's a barrier to achieve our to move on to our organization goals and objectives. It's a it creates some barrier. And opportunity, initiatives, those are initiatives that will assist the organization in reaching organization goals and objectives. So these are initiatives, these are opportunities, right? So positive external environmental influences, right? So as a result of that, we can move on to startup, like we can move on to something new, right? It's a kind of a new benefit for us, like, yeah. And this is the difference between problems and opportunities, right? So how managers differentiate problem from opportunities? So how managers does this? How they recognize the opportunities and problems? Yeah, recognize the facts clearly in order to identify the problem from opportunity. So we need to think about the facts. Is this from is it related to the external environment, or is it within the organization, right? So that we need to concern about the facts, information, like facts clearly in order to identify whether is it a problem or is this an opportunity, right? So assess whether it makes differences to the service. How worthwhile will it be solve the problem or realize the opportunity, right? Yeah. Is it make any difference to our services or products? So we need to concern about that, right? Or is it like something which related to solve a problem, or is it a problem, right? Is it realizing a problem, opportunity? Yeah, we need to think about that. Differentiate problems from opportunities, supports to identify factors relevant and irrelevant for decision making. Yeah, so we need to differentiate problems from opportunities because it's supposed to identify factors relevant and irrelevant for decision making, right? So this is an example. You might have seen this, like this what we called hot dot sticker. Pizza Hut has introduced this hot dot sticker for their package like this. Pizza Hut like this, like it's a hot dot box concept, right? So they have it, which helps to keep the warmth and hot temperature within the pizza packing until it reaches the customer's doorstep, right? So like they are trying to give a hot meal to the customer, right? Hot pizza to the customer. It's hot. When we are reaching to the customer, it's already hot, right? Keeping the warmth is the problem. Now, how we are going to keep the warmth inside the box? Now, it's the problem, right? And need of the customer is an opportunity. Yeah, customer also needs something hot. We can't eat like chilluna, evage pizza. No, we can't. We always prefer something hot when it comes to pizza. So, customer preference also, it's an opportunity, right? So, once the manager match both concepts, this problem, what is the problem? Keeping the warmth is a problem, right? So, what's the opportunity? So, customer needs something hot, right? So, match the both concepts. Like, you know, they have came up with an innovative idea. That's opportunity. So, they have came up with this innovative idea where, so that the way of differentiating the problem and the opportunity and making benefit out of both. Like, what they did was, they have introduced this hot dot box concept. There's a hot dot here. No, there's a dot here. It turns from black to red if the pizza is hot, right? If the pizza is hot, it turns to what? Red. But if pizza is not hot, it always remain black, right? So that's the concept they have introduced. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one. Importance of decision making. Why it's important to an organization, right? So here I refer DM for decision making, right? Decision making helps in facilitating the entire management process. As I told you earlier, this is very helpful when it comes to the entire management process, from planning to organizing to leading to controlling. It's very important to make good decisions. Making good decisions, it's very crucial to an organization, right? Yeah. It all allows action to be taken based on the business objectives decided during planning. So, during the planning stage, we are deciding like what? The objectives, goals and everything now. So, yeah. So, it allows to take actions, right? What are the actions that we have to take in order to achieve organizational goals and objectives? It is a type of planning. Yeah, it's a kind of planning. It belongs to that, right? It's planning. Decision making also kind of a planning. That's what it means here. A plan involving commitment to resources for achieving specific objectives. Through a decision, what we are expecting? To achieve something, right? DM is continuous. We can't stop making decisions. We always need to make decisions because problems are there, no? So when it comes to problems, to solve those problems, we have to make decisions. So it's continuous. Continuous. Decision making is a continuous part of this process, management process. All the managers at all levels, from top to bottom, bottom to top, all the levels of the hierarchy are required to make decisions regarding the responsibilities assigned to them. Based on their responsibilities, based on the working environment they are assigned to, they have to make decisions daily, right? Continuous decision making facilitates follow-up actions, right? So they need to monitor, they need to get feedbacks, they need to follow up the process, right? DM enables an organizations to deal with new problems and challenges. Proper decisions are necessary to overcome what? Challenges. unforeseen challenges from external environment based leads to new challenges. Proper decision are necessary to overcome challenges effectively, right? So here I have put this unforeseen changes in the external environment leads to new challenges. Here we can identify some opportunities as well, right? So yeah, DM is a critical task. Yes, making a decision is crucial part. Managers need to make effective and quick but right decisions. That should be right. That should be effective and that should be quick. Decisions, we need to make decisions quickly but effectively. But all of that, most concerning parties, that should be a right decision, right? Right decision. Rational decision making process. What is this? Rational decision making process? A process of selecting the best option or course of action based on a careful and logical evaluation. What is this? How we are going to make the decision now? Based on what? Process of selecting the best option or course of action based on what? Careful and logical evaluation of the cost, benefits and risk associated with each potential choice. So what are the most important points here? The best option, that should be the best option, right? Or the set of actions. Based on what? We need to make decisions carefully and logically. The rational decision making is that should be logical, right? And we need to concern about the cost, benefits and risk associated with that. So automatically that will become logical when we are considering these things, right? As example, when it comes to our personal life, choosing the most cost-effective mobile phone plan. A consumer might compare the cost, coverage and features of different cell phone plans to choose the one that offers the best value for their need. අතේ තියෙන ගානට අපිට කැමති ෆෝන් එක ගන්න අපි ඩිසිෂන් එකක් අපි තීරණයක් කරනවා. කියන්නේ අපි ඩිසිෂන් මේකින් කරනවා. හරිද? Choosing the most, this is related to an organization, this second one. Choosing the most efficient production plan. Right, when it comes to an organization, a firm might always, they need to analyze the cost and benefits of different production processes. There might be different processes, we have decided, I told you that there are a lot of alternatives, right? So, different production processes to choose the one that most efficient and cost effective. From those alternatives, we need to select what? Most efficient and cost effective one, the production process, right? So that's the second example for this. Steps of rational decision making process. Steps. Starting from defining and analyzing the problem. The first one is we need to define and we need to analyze the problem, and then developing alternative solutions, and then we are moving to what? Evaluations, the alternative solution, and then select the benefit solution, the best solution, and then implementing the decision, follow up. So let's see what are these steps. I'm going to explain these steps one by one now, right? When beginning with the defining and analyzing the problem, the managers has the responsibility to find out the real problem or the symptoms, right? So managers have this responsibility, right? So the problems might be related to the relationship that might be a relationship between management and employees. That might be a bad relationship, right? So sometimes it might be related to employees, right? Conflicts between employees. And sometimes it might be related to decrease in sale, right? Or increase in cost, different areas in organizations, right? So there might be different problems, right? So these are some examples. Symptoms, problems are there, like symptoms, what are they, right? So symptoms are characteristics of what? The problem. So these characteristics, we can see the characteristics, we can see the symptoms, but we can't recognize the problem clearly. So not only the problems, the clear problems, but we also need to concern about the symptoms. චුට්ටි චුට්ට අපිට පේනවා දේවල්. පොඩි conflicts වෙනවා වගේ පේනවා නිකන් අපිට පේන්න ගන්නවා සමහර දේවල්. හැබැයි අපිට හිතා ගන්න බෑ මෙතන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද මොකක්ද මේ කියලා. ඒක symptom එකක්. පොඩි දේවල්. right? ඒ ඇතුලේ ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකයි. And it provides a direction to diagnose the real problem. මෙතන මොකක් හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා කියලා අපිට symptoms දිහා බලලා ඔන්න හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Example, decreasing of sales, we are observing that there's a decrease of sales, right? Be a symptom of customer bad attitude towards the product. Oh, that's a problem. But symptom is, we can observe that our sales are decreasing day by day. How? So when we are thinking and when we are observing, when we are analyzing, we can find that the real problem is the consumer's bad attitude towards our products, right? The quality of our products. I don't know, we don't know, right? Then the manager must analyze the problem carefully. So we need to analyze the problem carefully, right? Find out the cause and the effect of what? Effect of the problem, right? So the first one is then defining and analyzing the problem. We need to define when we do analyze the problems, the cause and effects, right? And then developing the alternative solutions. මෙන්න අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නෙට අපි solutions හදනවා. මේ solutions. These solutions must be what? Realistic solutions. මේවා realistic වෙන්න ඕනි, right? So these solutions must be like develop alternative solutions, right? We can make different solutions. Those should be realistic. Achieve කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනි. හරිද? අපිට ඒ මත වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනි. Those are realistic solutions. Should be concerned. Group participation and computers are used for developing alternative solutions. We need to work as groups, teams. We need to take our employees' opinions, ideas when we are making these kind of decisions, like we are finding solutions for something, because at the end, employees are the people who are going to work, right? They are the people who are taking this, they are the people who work with in the ground floor, like shop floor level, and they should have that idea, right? They should have that motivation. So it is better to work as a team, and we need to get their ideas and opinions when we are making decisions, right? When we are making solutions, we can get their ideas as well, right? Group participation and information, technology, we can use that as well. When it comes to building up alternative solutions, we can refer like case study, we can go and search for new other organizational, international level organizations, then how they came up with these problems, kind of we can get an ideas and we can collect ideas, right? Evaluations, the alternative solutions. The manager should carefully evaluate the merits and demerits, positives and negatives. We need to consider about the positives and negatives. Should compare the cost, risk involved, and the feasibility of each solution. So we need to consider about what? There are solutions, but we need to check whether these are cost effective, or are there any risk involved with this, right? Or the feasibility. Right? You know what's feasibility, right? So we need to think about the feasibility and need to find out which solution will be accepted by the employees. So yeah, we are making solutions, we are coming like, yeah, we have so many alternatives, but thing is, I told you that employees, they have a major role in an organization, right? They are the people who are working, right? They're the people who bring this organization towards towards achieving objectives and goals and everything, right? So the employees, they should accept these solutions. Hari, අපිට වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්. Hari, අපි කැමති. They should accept that, right? So the acceptance is very much needed when it comes to this point. Select the best solution. So this solution should be less costly, less risky, and most feasible solution, right? Which is accepted by the employees, right? Should select solution that has the most merits and least demerits. The manager should select the best solution, and that solution we called what? A decision. The best solution, right? Managers, they pick the best solution, which we called the decision. And implementing the decision. Now, we make that decision. Now we need to implement that, right? How? The manager should implement that. He should put the decision into action. Implement means we are putting decision into action, right? Decision එක හදලා තියලා විතරක් බැහැනේ. අපි ඒක ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න ඕනේ. He should communicate the decisions. So the managers, they need to communicate these decisions. Yeah, we have made these decisions. So you need to work like this and like that. We need to communicate in top and to the middle and to the ground level. And yeah, so to each level, we need to communicate our decisions to the employees and persuade them to accept the decision, right? This can be done involving them into decision-making process, right? So we can motivate our employees when at this point, like when we are making decisions, we can get their involvement, right? We can get their opinions, their ideas, right? As we explained in our first chapter 1, the Kaizen method, that's how they do. Like they engage their employees when it comes to decision making, right? So, yeah. Managers should motivate them. Yeah, when we are involving our employees with decision making, so they automatically get motivated. අපිට තැනක් තියෙනවා කියන එක, they automatically get motivated, right? Employees, and provide all the resources required to implement the decision. So we need to motivate our employees, and also we need to provide with all the relevant resources to what? To implement this decision, right? And then decision එකක් implement කරලා අපි බලන් ඉන්නවද? No, we need to follow up. මේක හරියට වැඩ කරනවද? මේක හරියට ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවද? We need to follow up. We need to monitor this process, right? We need to follow up. After implementing the decision, the manager must follow up. බලන් ඉන්න ඕනේ, follow කරන්න ඕනේ. මේක හරියට වෙනවද කියලා. He must get the feedbacks about the decision. Is it effective or not? We need to get the feedbacks, right? Compare the decision with the action, finding out deviation, right? So we have this decision, we have made this decision. So through that decision, we can move on to this goals and objectives, right? So is it really work when it comes to the actual scenario? So we need to compare the decision with the action, right? So, and then we need to find out the deviations, right? Like it's kind of a control function, right? And helps to improve the quality of future decision. This feedback, this follow-up also helps in what? Improve the quality of future decisions as well, right? So these are the steps of this what? Of this process. Steps of rational decision-making process. Right? I think you can understand, you have get an idea about the rational decision-making process. Defining and analyzing the problem, developing alternative solutions, and evaluation of the alternative solutions, and then select the best solution out of that, which we call the decision, and implementing the decision, right? So put the decision into action, follow up. Continuously we need to do the following up, we need to get the feedbacks, right? So this is the process. Yeah, so here we are going to learn about rational decision making and rational problem solving. Rational, what is this? Rational decision making and rational problem solving. When it comes to rational decision making, the process is like this. This is not in your book, but you can get a good idea about these two terms, right? That's why I have included this. Like, it typically follows a structured approach where managers identify a problem, gather relevant information, generate possible solutions, evaluate alternatives, and select the best option. Now, you know this is the process that we have discussed earlier, but here it has stopped where? Like when it comes to the point where managers make the best solution, select the best alternative, that we call that I have explained, the decision. Yeah. So this, when it comes to this rational decision making process, stop there at the selecting the best option, right? Goal of this rational decision making is, the goal of rational decision making is to maximize outcomes by choosing the most effective solution. There are a lot of solutions, but we are selecting the most effective solution after carefully considering all the available information and alternatives. There are a lot of alternatives which we have made based on information we gathered. So the most effective solution, we need to select the most effective solution, right? So yeah, as example, a manager facing a decision on which supplier to choose for a critical component will evaluate facts like cost, reliability, and the quality based on data analysis, right? So the informations are like, we are making our decision based on data, we analyze, we do researches like so, and we need to consider about what? The cost, the reliability, and the quality of the goods that we are going to buy, right? So from the supplier, so those are the things that we need to consider, right? So based on that, we need to make the most effective solution, right? We need to select the best supplier for this component, right? What is the rational problem solving means? Process is like, it focuses on understanding the root causes of the problem, analyzing the situation, identifying potential solutions, and implementing the best course of actions to resolve the issue, right? We are moving on to the process again, right? And then I'll explain it. Like, so the difference between these two, it is also in your guidebook as well. The goal of this rational problem solving is, the goal of effectively eliminate what? The goal is to effectively eliminate the problem or mitigate its impact by addressing its fundamental causes, right? Rather than just treating symptoms. Without treating the symptoms, උඩින් පේන දේවල් වලට අපි solutions හොයලා ඉන්නවට වැඩිය, what we are going to do? We are going to search the fundamental causes, right? Example, if a company is experiencing declining of sales, symptoms, right? Declining of sales, it's a symptom. A manager would analyze the market trends, customer feedback, and internal processes to identify the reason behind the decline and implement strategies to reverse it. So we need to find out the root causes, right, based on this symptom. Yes, so this is the process. Earlier we have discussed it was like a circle, right? Now it's like this, the same thing, right? Defining and analyzing the problem and causes of the problem, developing alternative solutions, evaluation of alternative solutions, select the best solution, implement the decision and follow up. So when it comes to rational decision making, it comes till here. Select the best solution. We are making the best decision here, right? We are making the decision, the best solution. So rational decision making is this part, and when it comes to rational problem solving process, it will come up till here, right? The whole part. Yeah. So conditions of decision making. Conditions? Yes. So here when it comes to conditions of decision making, we have three conditions. Three conditions. What are they? What are the three conditions of decision making? Certainty, risk and uncertainty. Certainty, risk, uncertainty. Right? I'll come back to this part after explaining these three terms, these three conditions of decision making. Right? Certainty, risk, uncertainty. Certainty, that means we have all the relevant information in hand, right? In short, exists only when the manager knows the available alternatives, conditions and consequences of the actions. We have all the necessary information with us, right? Assume that manager has all the situation. Perfectly accurate decision, but decision making under certainty is rare, because that is very rare. Because why? We don't have all the relevant information in our hand, right? We can't get all the relevant information, so it might be very rare. As example, designing a new carpet for the office, or installing a new piece of equipment, or promoting an employee to a supervisory position is made with high level of certainty. So those kind of decisions, those are high level of certainty is there, right? And risk, what is this? Prevails when the manager is aware of all the solutions but unacquainted with their consequences, right? So we need to consider about the consequences. Includes clear and accurate objectives and efficient details, but future results are not known. It has a risk, right? So includes all the clear and accurate objectives, but we don't know the results in future, right? Future results, those are unknown. Risky situation requires possibility reports. Yeah. And ability to calculate may be due to experience. It has the ability to calculate, maybe because of these people sometimes they have experiences, and imperfect but straight answer or intellect, right? Here we can go for mathematical researchers. Statistical analysis can be used for calculate possibilities or failures or success, right? We can calculate the risk. Right? Example, if the boss comes to the manager and says, we need to build a new plant and we need it in the best possible place. So, are we going to do it directly? No, the manager need to do a research, market research, and put the plant in the right place, right? First of all, they need to assess the risk, right? Assess the risk, And then uncertainty. The third one is uncertainty. The state of uncertainty exists when there is no awareness of all the alternatives and outcomes, even for the non-alternatives. So here we don't have all the information, all the related information in our hand, right? the managers need to make certain assumptions. So here we are making certain assumptions since we don't have all the relevant information, right? In order to provide reasonable frame, in order to build up a reasonable frame, we make some assumptions, right? That, yeah, to get a kind of a reasonable idea, work for decision making, right? Intuition, judgments and experience are major roles in decision making under conditions of uncertainty. So here, like intuitions, you know that, right? Like judgments, we can go for judgments, right? We can, and also our experience, based on our experience, make a hariyai, make a varadi, kind of, we have that experience, like make a hari, make tama karanna oni. ඒ වගේ based on our experience. And the level of ambiguity and chance to make bad decisions is relatively high. So here, sometimes this making bad decisions, like wrong decisions, it's relatively high when it comes to this point, right? Because why? We don't have all the information on our hand, and we are building up solutions with based on assumptions, right? So because of that, then based on our intuitions, our judgments, experiences, so these kind of things, they are not correct all the time, right? So that because of that, these decisions, the like what we call uncertainty, like this might be a bad decision. That level is relatively high when it compared to the others. Example, the company tries to introduce a new concept on employee attendance and reward system plus a termination concept. The manager must assume the employee point of view before processing the concept. So here, when it comes to the things like this, when it comes to the points related to employees, so the managers assuming these things, like these assumptions might be wrong, right? The consequences might be different, right? Yeah. So this is very uncertain. This is very like uncertain, right? So again, I'm going to this chart, right? So decision maker faces conditions of certainty, where we have all the relevant information, and it's very certainties, like it's very rare. Risk, we need to do risk assessments, right? So risk is there, like uncertainty. So we don't have all the relevant information on our hand. The decision might be bad, that level is very high, right? So level of ambiguity and the chance of making bad decisions. When we have all the relevant information, the chance of making bad decisions, it's very low, right? Because we have information. Based on those informations, we can go for a good decision. So the making bad decisions, it's very low here. And while doing risk assessments, research and all that, we can go for a moderate kind of a decision, right? That might be, it's not lower and it's not, the certainty is not, like uncertainty is not high, like this is very moderate, right? And here, when it comes to uncertainty, making bad decisions, it's very high, because we are making decisions based on like intuitions, experiences, judgments, right? Like that. We don't have all the relevant information on our hand. So this kind of decisions are like that, making bad decisions, it's very high, right? That's how it works. What are the three conditions of decision making? Certainty, risk and uncertainty.